What's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. Mamas, fathers, please stop sending your children to play football for racist states that want to take away black people's political representation. Stop sending your sons to these universities. Stop advertising these universities in these racist Confederate states to your children. Stop it. Do not send your children to these universities where they will be toiling in their gladiator arenas, making them money, right? Representing them at the highest level in sports and academia. But when it comes to political representation, these same states and these universities don't believe that we should have a say-so, because these universities and the states are in cahoots. The people who own and donate and send their unqualified children to these universities because of legacy admissions, which is really DEI for rich, spoiled white people, right? They don't believe we should have representation. So why should we uplift and bring in money to their universities? And this is not just for football players, basketball players too. Academic scholarship granted black African-American high schoolers too. Don't go to none of these places. Yeah, they may throw a lot of money at you, but you got to have some integrity. Understand that all money ain't good money. Black mothers and black fathers, this is on you. I see y'all, it's football season. I see all the black fathers out training their boys to get ready for Pee Wee League and all manners of different leagues of football, right? That's good. I like to see that. But at the same time, teach your sons a little bit more integrity about the game, about who you should play for, what uniforms you should wear, who you should rep. We shouldn't be representing these states that want to go back to being a confederacy. If they want to be if they want to be the Confederacy and they want it to be a white dominant state and they only want white representation, then let them get their white boys up and play on them teams. Let them have all white good old boys on their football teams, right? Since they don't seem to believe that we deserve any kind of representation. So why should we represent them on the football team? Why should we represent them on the track? Why should we be representing them in any form and fashion, be it academia or sports? If you are a student, don't go to these universities. What makes them prestigious? Because a rich white person said so? Because their kids can get in because they donate a bunch of money? Is that it? The school that you should go to is the one that cares about you. We should be flooding HBCUs with our top athletes. We should be flooding HBCUs with our top academia achievers. We should be flooding HBCUs with our best band instrument players. We should be flooding HBCUs. Now, some of the HBCUs are in some of these Confederate states, and I say we should be. If you're going to send your son to a university within your state, look for a HBCU. If not, send your son to a state that allows black people to have representation. Now, this is going to be hard because a lot of families are like, yeah, on an individual level, I just want my son to make it, and I want him to go to a program that's going to take him to the NFL. Look, most of your boys are not going to make it to the NFL. Most of your boys are not going to, as good as they are. There's so many good black boys out there that's playing. It's tough competition. Most of y'all are not. But the thing is, while you're pursuing this dream at these racist institutions in these racist states that don't believe that we should have any representation unless we're shutting the fuck up and playing football and basketball for them or blowing a horn or drumming a string for them, or inventing some shit for them that they'll take credit for, right? And since that's the case, we got to find some sort of pride. We got to dig down and realize that even though times is hard, that money from them is not worth it. That's the problem. The problem is we continue to accept money from the white supremacists because they know on an individual basis, nobody would turn down money or opportunity. But on a collective basis, that money and opportunity for that individual is what holds down the entire community. Because you continue to empower and enrich these racist white people that like to play with us like fantasy football. When they get their money, they tell us to shut the fuck up. So let's let them represent themselves. Let's see these Confederates get their white supremacist boys together and let them go out there and play and have a nice, tight, white team. And let's see how far they go in the league with everybody else, with all being equal. All right, but this is going to have to come. We got to create a culture of not going places that don't believe that we should be treated fairly. This starts with the mother and the father. The single mother sending your gifted child off to football so he can make it and then he'll take care of mama. The father, right, who goes to the baby mama house or goes outside if he's married with his children and teaches his child to play football because he believes that's a good way, right, for him to use his physical advantages to get ahead in life. Even though we black people have demonstrated that we can get ahead in life with our brains. We don't have to play football. We can do anything. We can play anything and succeed. We just need to start having our children have options. We need to give our children options. We need to put our children in front of scientists, in front of biologists, all right? In front of they need to take them to this aerospace museum. The future's in the sky. We need to be in there. We need to be creating the robots of the future. All these AI robots and these animatronic machines are being made to create colonies on different planets. That's the point. Who's going to be designing these robots? Who's going to be managing these robots in space? That's going to be us. We need to get involved. There's other things we can do to make the millions of dollars that we all supposedly believe that we need. How about living a good life? A life where you can do what you want and enjoy yourself. You don't always have to be a millionaire. You don't have to always shoot for another galaxy. It's okay to be normal and successful and unfamous. It's okay. So we got to find a discipline within us to start boycotting the way our ancestors did. We got to start boycotting the way our senior citizens did back in the day. All right, when they were young, because they were babies back then. They was watching their parents boycott, bus boycott, all kind of boycotts. Back then, we used to show the government, local, state, and federal, and other institutions what we meant when we said we didn't like this thing or that we were serious. We need to show them how serious we are. Because if we don't, we're not serious. We're just going to say, oh, okay, here's another offensive thing white people are doing to us. We're going to take it on the chin and keep on moving. Are we just going to take it on the chin and keep on moving? Because if that's the case, you're not going to change the behavior of the white supremacists because they know worst case scenario, you ain't going to do shit. Best case scenario, you ain't going to do shit. If worst case and best case scenario is you just ain't going to do shit, you just going to talk a little shit but ain't going to do shit, they not worried about shit. So what we going to do? Huh? We going to do some shit or what? Anyway, you tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something. Teach something. I'm out.
Our good brother Ryan Clark says, look, I'm going to be real with you. Black college athletes need to stop signing with the schools and states that gerrymander districts to block black representation. My Lord. I say, go to HBCUs, increase the revenue of black cities in the South. In turn, the HBCU deans and directors have to agree to not be sellouts, and the black population has to agree to support these games on a grand level to make the move worth it. Now, being that going to college in the first place is about upward mobility and increasing the quality of life in one's life and in their family life, we as the black community cannot say to these 18-year-olds, we expect you not to go to these white schools that's going to give you more money than you ever was going to get in your entire life from working hard at this one sport, unless we can replace the revenue that they're going to get from these white colleges and those donors. This is why black unity is so important, my Lord, because now they got all kind of NIL rules where they don't even got to get the money under the table. They can get it from their likeness and their endorsement deals. Can we as the black community replace that? My Lord, that's the only way we can say you shouldn't go to these schools. If we can't do that, we got to shut the fuck up, my Lord. But with 40 million of us, over 40 million of us, we absolutely could do that. We're just not unified on that level. That's why you gotta think nation. Because that map look a lot similar to the map of the Republic of New Africa, and you ain't never thought about it like that.
I need black athletes to stop signing on to these colleges in the South. Full send. One of the most annoying parts about talking about race, especially on this app, is people think that you're trying to play the victim or do some false claim to have this or have that, or you're trying to be entitled to this because of your race. Fuck no. Clear racism is clear racism, you stupid bitch. I need black athletes to stop signing on to these Southern colleges. When the Supreme Court of the United States of America guts the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and then all of these Southern states immediately go after majority black districts. South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Texas, when they immediately go after black majority districts. That is clear racism. How the fuck they claim that this is the end of identity-based politics as they all identify as Republicans and boost up every white majority district and go after black majority districts. It's the fact that they can't even come out and stand on 10 toes and say, hell yeah, our initiatives, our actions are fueled by racism. They have to hide behind all this political bullshit jargon and falsely blame the left and identity-based politics, whatever the fuck that means. Black athletes have got to stop boosting up these collegiate sports programs in racist states. There's a lot of states. Go somewhere else. I guarantee you that will make them walk back all of this bull. These motherfuckers will cheer for black athletes. They'll fill up these goddamn stadiums. They'll stand up and applaud all these black athletes that make their schools look incredible, and then they'll go and vote against the effectiveness of the black vote, of black people voting. They'll go and try to make sure that black people have no representation in their government. But as long as they're catching that football, as long as they're shooting that basketball, hell yeah, we love that. Please come to our D1 college. We love you as long as you do that. But as soon as you just want an education, or as soon as you want access to this or that, oh fuck no, we can't have you being represented in our government. We just want you to make our sports teams look good. I need southern states to have collegiate rosters looking like a roll of fucking paper towels. Enough is enough, dude. What are we doing? Why do we let these people shit on us in every other facet of society? But when it's time to put them shoulder pads on, Saturday night NCAA primetime football, then they want to show us that, oh, please represent us. Please. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I need black athletes to stop signing on to these states that show clear-cut racism. What the fuck are we? Identity-based politics is what they're calling it. When the minority, how many times do I have to fucking say this? How many times do I have to fucking say this? When the minority is involved in a majority-based voting system, how often does the minority get represented in the government? If a minority is involved in a majority-based voting system, how often does the minority outvote the majority? How often? How often? How often? That's why you need laws and systems in place to ensure that the minority bitch, minority, minority bitch, definitely has representation. Because how often does the minority outvote the fucking majority? Why do I have to explain this shit out loud? Look, if these southern states are going to try to bring back the Jim Crow era and stuff, the very least black people could do is stop going to these black colleges and playing on their sports teams, all this type shit. Black athletes have got to stop going to these racist ass southern states. Holy shit. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on, but when right now in Mississippi, they're attacking Benny Thompson's district. They already attacked Memphis in Tennessee. South Carolina is trying to fast track redrawing their map. Florida just fucking went against their constitution entirely to redraw the Florida map. Alabama not only redrew their map, but said that the Supreme Court needs to take a look at the 14th Amendment. I don't know how much more racist you can fucking be. But then you have athlete after athlete after athlete after five-star prospect after five-star prospect smiling as they sign up to go play football at fucking Ole Miss. Alabama Crimson Tide. Goddamn Louisiana Tigers. I'm going to be a Tiger, baby, while these states literally vote against the best interests of black people and marginalized groups. Stop playing at these fucking colleges in some of the most racist states in the fucking country. I guarantee you there are plenty of other D1 programs whose state doesn't just show clear-cut racism. I guarantee you.
I don't understand why an athlete would go to a school where the state is ushering in a new iteration of Jim Crow. Mothers and fathers of those athletes, because if you're a 4 or 5-star athlete, you can get NIL money anyway. You don't need to go there. If it was up to the southern states, they would still be having slave labor, which is what they used athletics for. If athletes stopped going to the Tennessees and the Louisiana, the top tier athletes, ESPN and presidents of schools, chambers of commerce would start having conversations.
D.L. Hughley framed the question perfectly. What if black college athletes refuse to sign to schools in states that gerrymander districts to exclude black representation? I'm Major League, and I'll give you 3 things about it. Thing number 1, these states are taking 2 things from black people at the same time. They're taking your vote and they're taking your labor. Specifically, these SEC schools in Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia. The Supreme Court has given these states the green light to gut political power, and they are breaking their necks to wipe black districts off the map. And yet the premier universities in these states are lining up to profit off of black athletes, pack their stadiums, sell jerseys with the names of your sons and daughters on the back. They want black bodies on the field. They don't want you at the ballot box. That's the deal they're offering you. You need to stop taking it. Thing number 2, the Supreme Court permanently gutted the Voting Rights Act, and Republican-controlled states are moving fast to redraw maps and strip black districts of representation. It's an all-hands-on-deck approach to block black voters out of the democratic process. And it worked. But now, athletes have NIL money, real choices. And here's the thing. You don't have to send your kid to the University of Tennessee or Alabama. HBCUs exist. Grambling, Southern, Alabama A&M, schools where your talent builds black institutions instead of enriching the same states working to erase black political power.
I think we have to be clear that the only time they like black bodies are when they're entertaining them or when they're on a sports field or a basketball court. That's the only value they see to black bodies, not in positions of political power, not in positions of economic power. And so we have to have a multi-pronged strategy. We have a legal strategy. We need a strategy that shuts the streets down, but we also need a strategy of economic withdrawal.
Thing number 3, SEC programs pull in serious revenue, hundreds of millions of dollars annually. If black athletes start redirecting their talent towards HBCUs and away from states suppressing black votes, gerrymandering suddenly has a price tag. HBCUs in those states are the alternative. That's the move. Black economic power used strategically has always been one of our strongest tools. The leverage is there. The only question is whether our community has the solidarity to use that leverage. But I want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments and follow Major League TV on all platforms. And if you want to support my content directly, click the link in my bio and buy your boy a cup of coffee.
Is Ryan Clark right on this one? He says, look, I'm going to be real with you. Black college athletes need to stop signing with schools in states that gerrymander districts to block black representation. And you see where they at. What y'all think? Is Ryan Clark right? I would say before it got to the gerrymandering, black athletes should strongly consider banding together and supporting HBCUs and state colleges that are diverse. So for instance, this school right here, the University of Maryland has the largest amount of black students that attend a university in the nation, larger than all of the HBCUs. I think the largest enrollment at HBCU is at North Carolina A&T, the Aggies, and that's commendable. And that's how it should be. But at the same time, you do have some state schools like University of Maryland at College Park supports diversity. So I say athletes go to where the residents appreciate and respect you of that state. So yeah, they like you to play their sports, to entertain them. And you know what? Let's keep it a buck. Let's be real with it. In this era today, with the NIL, name, image, likeness, you can make millions in some cases if you're that talented of an athlete. And I would say the initial folks that would go to an HBCU, they're probably going to sacrifice a little bit. But as more athletes decide to do it, if the top 10 in basketball said, you know what, we're going to go to an HBCU and play for 1 year. We're going to play for 1 year. And 3 of them went to one team, 3 of them went to another team, 4 went to another team, it would change the whole dynamic. Football, same kind of thing. If about the top 30 or 40 guys said, you know what, we're going to go to, and you're not going to get everybody, but the majority of them, 80, 90% of them said, you know what, we're going to go to HBCUs. I guarantee you the dynamic will change instantly. And the NCAA will be trying to do something to figure out how they're going to, because the product will change, how they're going to change the rules, how they're going to amend, where athletes can go and all this kind of stuff. Because we know at the end of the day, it's about money. And money influences power. So if you don't have power, but you got money, you can influence power. You can buy power. That's right. You can buy power. So, and viewership equals money and power. So, I say we saw the phenomenon a few years ago when Coach Prime went to Jackson State. They started to get more notoriety. Then he came to Colorado, even more notoriety. I mean, it was crazy. It was a media frenzy. So if more players did like Coach Prime did, he sacrificed, took his sons to HBCU and his daughter. More did like him, we would see a shift in this dynamic. And this is political. This is a political statement, and some folks not gonna like it, but folks don't have no problem with, I'm just going to pick a state, the University of Maine being 99% white. They have no problem with it. Folks don't have no problem with, my son just graduated from the University of Dayton. And Dayton is in northern Ohio, central Ohio, southwest Ohio, whichever way you want to look at it, depending on where you live. Technically, it's southwest, western Ohio, but progressive. But in his graduating class, an undergrad, I could count how many black students I saw. I could count it. He was one of them. So, now, there were a lot of Asian. There were a couple Indian, more Asian as far as minorities went, because they have an engineering school. But as far as just the black Americans, not a lot. Not a lot. And that dynamic can be changed. That dynamic can be changed real easy, real quick. And, University of Dayton is a private college. So, one, it's expensive to go there. Tuition is $47,000 a year. Just tuition. We're not talking about room and board. We're not talking about meal plans. We're not talking about books. Just tuition is $47,000. Okay? So, it's not a state school. So, it's a little different of a comparison. But folks can make a difference. If we decided to get together, we can make a difference. So let me know what you think. Peace.
I don't think black athletes should play for my alma mater anymore. I don't think they should be on the football field. I don't think they should be on the basketball court. I don't think they should be playing for any sport at LSU. If Louisiana is going to gerrymander black people out of representation in Louisiana, then you guys should hit them where it hurts. And that is by far LSU sports. If anything is going to make the white people in Louisiana care more about black representation and civil rights, it's taking something away from their LSU sports teams. If the top 5 recruits black recruits coming out of high school, going into college, said, you know what? I'm not signing with LSU or Tennessee or any of these other states that are going to gerrymander us out of representation, then maybe they'll wake up.
Hey y'all, this is George Cook at African American Reports. I'm sure you've seen the news reports about states like Tennessee and Alabama doing everything they can to eliminate majority black congressional districts and to dilute black political power. Many people are wondering, how do we fight back? Well, I have an idea that's not new or original, but I think its time has come. In football, in states like Tennessee and Alabama, football is next to God. And I think it's time that we hit them in the pocket by not sending our black sons to play for either school anymore. What I'm saying is that if a recruiter shows up to your door from either school, tell them to get the fuck off your doorstep and that your son is not going there. These states want to make billions to billions off of black bodies, but don't want black people to vote or have political power. Why should we help them make millions of dollars or billions of dollars? So I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Should we send our sons there, or should we tell them to go kick rocks and send our sons to other places, maybe even HBCUs? Or you got those schools like Georgia and Florida in it too. I ain't forgetting them. All right, y'all. Goodbye and God bless.
Boycott the SEC. Cool. And why you at it?
Boycott the NFL, bitch.
Why stop at the SEC? Not deal with the big plantation, because that's how all you niggas get entertained. Because you forget, it's NFL teams in the South too. I ain't got no skin in the game. I don't watch none of that shit. I stopped watching way back with Colin Kaepernick, with that bullshit. But I see how disingenuous a lot of you niggas are. Because a lot of you niggas can continue to watch basketball even though they shut LeBron right the fuck up. They shut Kyrie Irving right the fuck up. And the only thing them niggas can ever talk about on TV and on podcasting is basketball. But y'all got smoke for these colleges. Send your kids to college to learn. They don't have to play ball. How about that?
You know, this whole Jim Crow era-esque bullshit with the voting laws and discriminating minorities and shit like that. The southern states are gonna realize that this is an issue when black people stop sending their kids, their athletic children, to these universities that are in southern states. Like, you really think that you're gonna be getting top tier fucking athletes when you're discriminating against them? No, there's already actually a whole fucking push and a whole movement amongst these young black athletes to go out of their way to avoid any universities in a southern state or in any of these states that are allowing these Jim Crow laws to basically come back into fruition. So, yeah, I really don't think it'll be that long before, just because of sports. That's how important sports are in America. That as soon as they stop seeing black athletes going to their universities, they're going to want to change it. Guaranteed.
It be the parents. You wonder why the kids keep going to these schools while we trying to be against it. They going against our vote in the South, and they keep going to SEC schools while we telling them don't go. It be the parents. They come from a family of coons. They want them around those white folks. It's really that simple, bruh. Well, you know, somebody gets to represent our school. Yeah, but you're not looking at the times we living in. You're going to ignore that because that's the school you want your child to go to. Meanwhile, they really don't even want your child there. They're only there for entertainment. You fucking idiot. You're going to have your child in the midst of one of the most racist times to be at the SEC school. There's a nuance in this. Black people tried to do this a few years ago. Remember, the kids was talking about going to HBCUs. And I remember very clearly there were people on TV, the coons, on TV telling them, nah, you got to go to the major schools and this, that, and the other. By just a few going, HBCUs were put on national television. Do y'all not remember Dion going to a HBCU? Do y'all not remember that they were getting put on national television? Do y'all not remember national news coming down there? Do y'all not remember the games being on ESPN after that? Movements don't just start with one or two people. The collective have to make this move together. You lose your voting rights, white people shouldn't get the entertainment. They shouldn't get the best of the black people in the South to entertain their ass every Sunday for football and for basketball. They shouldn't get the best of the best, bro. They should not. You should not want to entertain these motherfuckers. But again, there is no nuance in this shit. Everybody just wants their kid to go to a certain school because that's the school they set on, or that's the coach. Some of these coaches are the most racist pieces of shit, and they become these government officials later. They've had millions of dollars, and they shit on black people the moment they get those positions. Meanwhile, black people were the reason why they even had the job in the first place. Recruiting black people is their number one job, is to get your kids to go to their school, the top athletes to come to their school. These people do not like you. They're using you so they can keep a fucking job. Don't go to the SEC. Transfer out of the SEC. Fuck these people. Do not entertain these people. Stop. We're trying to tell you, children of high school age, they're going to recruit you. Fuck them. Try HBCU. Go out west. Go to Illinois. Oh, go to Chicago. You don't have to go to the SEC. Right? You can go to Ohio State. You don't have to go to the SEC, bro. And, well, football's different. But in basketball, you can. Michigan. Right? Michigan State. There's other places you can go. You don't have to go to the SEC, bro. You really don't. But the nuance gets lost because you got these coon racist talking heads on television that's going to push because it's dollars getting paid through the network to keep niggas, to keep entertaining these people. And I say the same thing in music too. We shouldn't cancel them fucking concerts. We should not be helping these white folks and entertaining these people because that's all they see us as, entertainment. We are entertainment to these people. They don't give a fuck about your education. They don't even want you to have that motherfucker. Stop entertaining that motherfucking ass. Cut those concerts off. Go to the black venues. We got to become real connected away from the systems that was there, bro. It's the only way we can gain power. Because guess what? The network's going to be there. If the top recruits all go to these schools, them networks going to come anyway, man. You ain't got to worry about that. They coming. Because they eyes is on these people anyway. So, fuck them people, bro. And fuck them schools. I'm in Missouri. Fuck Mizzou. They're a part of it too. Fuck Mizzou. Fuck all them schools, bruh. Until people get this shit straight, until we have some power, they don't get to get entertained. Pull out all this shit. This is what I've been waiting for anyway.
You know what? A lot of people have been saying this. This is right on time. SEC, the Southeastern Conference boycott in response to the gutting of the Voting Rights Amendment. SEC universities support Republican politicians who stripped away voting districts that predominantly serve black voters while making billions of revenue from black athletes. Say all that. 56% of all black Americans live in the Confederate States, and as such, they deserve political representation. We are calling on all football, basketball, track and field, and other athletic programs to participate in this SEC athletics boycott. A weekly boycott of all nationally televised SEC games. I could do that. I don't have to watch their games. All current black athletes to transfer, ooh, lordy, from every SEC school, and for athletes to decommit from SEC schools. You know what? You know what? I support this. Voting rights and representation are the most fundamental rights for all Americans, and black voters deserve the same rights as all other Americans. And here are the schools: Alabama, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Auburn, Missouri, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, LSU, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt. What is that? I missed one down there. One of those Florida teams, I guess. Our athletes, our voices. You know what? This is it. Hey, you know what? Share this. Share this, because why should those schools who are run and operated by Republicans, who support the Republicans who have stolen voting representation from black voters all across the South, the SEC, the Confederate states, why should they still make billions? And people have been saying this for years. And these black athletes, you have power. Use that power. They don't want you to vote. If they don't want you to vote, you should be willing to make them money. Get out of that conference. So if you see this video, share this video widely. The SEC needs to pay a price for what they're doing to black citizens, black athletes, black families, black neighborhoods, black businesses, everybody across the South.
A lot of y'all are mad because I said I wish y'all would stop putting y'all kids in football, and particularly black people. Y'all keep saying, well, it's not about the sport, it's about what the sports do for the kids. Y'all, chess club can do the same thing. Debate club can do the same thing. Robotics can do the same thing for your children. Instilling discipline on your children is something you can do. I'm gonna give y'all a little background about me. I've always been a bigger boy. I was a black boy. So when you big and you black, the first thing they want to do is put you in football. Hated football my whole motherfucking life. But growing up, that's all everybody ever tried to get me to do. Fuck the fact that I never had less than a 3.5 GPA in my life. Fuck the fact that I started my first business when I was 16 years old. Fuck the fact that at a very young age, it became very clear that my strongest asset was my personality and my brain. A lot of the times, y'all not even paying attention to the kids y'all putting in football. You just saying, damn, he tall as hell, he gonna have to play basketball. He fast, he gonna have to play football. You not even paying attention to the fact that your son is amazing at tech. He be perfect for robotics. Your son stay in front of a camera. Why not start him a YouTube channel? The shit ain't got no other choice but to grow. And then y'all keep saying, well, busy kids stay out of trouble. That's the point of activities. I'm not saying let your kids sit at home and not do nothing, dodo. What I'm saying is put your kids out there, introduce them to new things. This girl was in my comments, she said football makes the most millionaires. No, entertainment makes the most millionaires. It's not just sports. It's music as well. It's film as well. And these things are very broad. It's possible for your child to intern at a fucking record label. It's possible for your child to intern under Tyler Perry. With discipline and consistency, anything can be motherfucking accomplished. Now, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Lil John has damn near a 0 chance of making it to the fucking NFL. But let's say he do. Make it to the fucking NFL. 99% of NFL players die from fucking CTE. That's roughly all of them. And 70% of NFL players go broke within 3 fucking years. So do your research on what you signing your kids up for. But when y'all sons make it to the NFL, I'll be there clapping for them. Goofy ass.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.